All right, welcome back to the Week 13 recap, brought to you by the Pac 9 Show.
Woo!
We're going to start off with Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears, and with this win, the Green Bay Packers become the most winningest team in NFL history,
Hey
which I
yo!
love. So good to have that under our belt. So good to beat up on the Bears yet again. Uh,
They just
it was
cannot beat the Packers ever, huh? Is it forbidden by the football gods or something?
Soldier Field is cursed. That's just what it is. Yeah, I like to say that the Packers have no owner, and the Bears are owned by Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
So yeah, and it was a. Did you were you able to watch this game through?
I watched a decent amount of it. I had it on the red zone. Seeing Christian
Mhm.
Watson making some really good plays. It looks like he's starting to find himself. But I didn't really get to
Eight
see the flow of
touchdowns
the
through
game.
4 weeks. Eight
Yeah,
touchdowns through 4 weeks. That's
yeah,
insane.
he's kind of killing it out of nowhere too. And maybe you could tell me more about the flow of the game. I just kind of saw the highlights, but it looked like Rodgers was looking nice, um, and the defense seemed to pull together when they needed. Is that kind of what was going on?
It was kind of a strange game because we went down uh 10-0 kind of early. The first three drives were a field goal by the Bears, punt
Mm.
after six plays by the Packers, and then a touchdown again. So we were already down 10-0. But even from there, it never really felt like this game was going to get away from us. Um, they had a costly fumble that happened in the first half. We both ended up with some touchdowns going into
Yeah.
the end of the first half, and we were down 16-10. But even then, it just seemed manageable. But then our defense really stepped it up, uh, just forcing a couple three and outs. But really, what happened was it was 17-19, and they missed a field goal. It was blocked, and there was 11.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
there
I
was
do remember that.
11:40 left in the fourth, and we blocked it. And from then on out, it was like we can win this game. We're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
We went down there. We got a field goal. We got an interception that led to another touchdown, and then another
Um,
interception that sealed the game. And it was great.
Man. Yeah, I
We
don't
even
know.
got the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I was wondering how you guys scored 18. That's a
Hmm.
weird score in a
Yeah, well, it
quarter.
was 26-19, and at that point, if it's 26-19 and they score, and you miss your extra point or your conversion, then they still have to get 8 to win, right? So there's
Right.
not really a reason not to just go for the two.
Yeah, make it two possession game.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, that's it sounds like I mean the Packers I think they honestly could make a run here.
It might
Uh
just be too little, too late. Is kind of the thing.
it might be one or two games too late. That Lions game might come back to haunt them.
Hmm.
But I think they could potentially, if they end up 9-8, maybe might be able to sneak in a playoff spot. Maybe.
Maybe. There's like it's the kind of tough last four games. Obviously, we're on bye this week, and then we're gonna have the Rams, which not so bad. But then we have at Dolphins, which could be troublesome. That's on
Ooh.
Christmas.
Oh wow.
And then on New Year's Day, are going against the Vikings, and
Ooh.
so that's going to be tough as well.
Ooh.
And then we end with the Lions, uh, who are also trying to make a little push. So not only that, if we had all four of those wins, then we still would kind of need some things to shake out our way in the other divisions too.
Yeah, the NFC
Mhm.
East and all that.
I mean, I'm not giving the Packers like a super amount of like credit in this win. Like they looked good, but they haven't really looked like that all year. And the Bears are not very good. We said that they're a poor man's Eagles, right? And that's kind of what it looked
Yeah,
like.
and their defense is just poor.
Right. Yeah.
It's just bad. They traded everyone good, so
Mhm.
the Bears are kind of trying to get that better draft pick. I feel like.
Yeah, Packers fans are pretty happy that we're the most winningest team, at least for now.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and then of course, if the Bears And like who knows what's going to end up by the end of the season because it's pretty solidly I think between the Bears and the Packers just because of how long our franchises have been around.
Yeah, it's
And
just it's literally neck and neck every year.
yes, so now it's just going to keep going back and forth like that. But it was a nice little game, which is not necessarily like on the one hand, the Niners game was a really nice game for you guys, beating the Dolphins 33 to what was it?
Woo!
33
It
to
was like
13? Was it
18,
13?
18 or
33 to,
19, something
to
like that.
17, 17,
17.
33 to 17. And uh and so that was really crazy. And but then of course the tragedy struck after four pass attempts from Jimmy Garoppolo. He goes out with an injury that may or may not even like show him coming back in the playoffs if you make it there. Break down this game for us.
Yeah. So the game was a crazy game from start to finish. Literally the first play of the game was a Dolphins touchdown to old 49er Trent Sherfield. And it was just like, is this how it's gonna go all day? Like, um,
Yeah, it looked crazy from the start with that.
I was like, I opened my can of beer immediately. I was like, well, looks like it's gonna be one of these games, huh? But the defense actually stepped up the rest of the game, and if you take out that touchdown, they only scored a field goal and then a Tyreek Hill touchdown. That's like you can't beat Tyreek Hill's speed basically. But that
Hmm.
if you take away that, their offense was kind of nullified by the Niners defense, which was very impressive. They almost came back at the end. There was somewhat of a controversial Mike Gesicki catch, not catch type thing where it went on his shoulder.
Hmm. That
Luckily,
was weird.
yeah, but Kyle Shanahan had two challenges that were very unorthodox plays, and he won them both, which was
Hmm.
insane. And they were on the same drive too. And
Wow.
so, yeah, the other one I think was it Tyreek Hill? I forget what the other one was. But yeah, then Brock Purdy stepped up, and you know he's a rookie, last pick of the draft, or Mister Irrelevant, whatever you want to say, Dirty Purdy. But he's I think he's actually a pretty smart quarterback, and so he was making some good plays, had some really gutsy throws that I was very scared of, and
Yeah,
thought they
I
were going
could.
to be interceptions at times. But he managed to find the playmakers, and that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. Can Purdy and Shanahan kind of get the ball into the playmakers' hands? And that's what they were able to do against the Dolphins, on offense at least. And so Christian McCaffrey had a huge game. Ayuk came in clutch in a couple plays. Kittle had a clutch little third down catch. But Purdy did miss some throws on that third down. Kittle got there was a wide open touchdown basically to the other tight end. So we'll see how it ends up going. I think the defense is still going to carry like it has been, and that was a litmus test. We can hang with these quote unquote these high powered offenses.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I was about to say too. Is that last week we made it kind of a source of contention when we previewed this game that it was really going to be a test for the Niners defense because this is one of the more high-powered offenses that you guys had to go through this year. And then, yeah, exactly like you were saying, right away, first play, 70-yard, 75-yard touchdown. It was like, oh, well, here we go. But then it was so impressive. 3 and out was your next one. 3 and out was your next one. Then there was a 12-play 5-minute drive that ended with a field goal,
and I'm
but
just
then
gonna
3 and out, and then 4 and out, and that was the end of the first half. It
and I'm
was
just
incredible.
I'm gonna say it. I mean, no offense to Tua, but he did not look good at all. I kept hearing about how accurate he was, of how he
Hmm.
was a great passer. He must have missed like 6 or 7 throws that would have been like wide open.
Oh
And
yeah, it looked bad. He literally had 2 interceptions to start his first 2 drives in the second half. Fumbles the ball at the end, and then their
yeah,
freaking backup comes in with less than two in the game, and he throws an
yeah, he threw an
interception.
interception. That was
Yeah,
funny.
dude, no, this is your defense because we've seen Tua go insane on a team and drop
Right.
a lot of points. But uh, but yeah, I think keeping them off the field was what allowed you guys to get to 33. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
honestly, like I don't know, I haven't really been a big Jimmy Garoppolo fan, and maybe shaking it up with Brock was the right move, but we'll see. I mean, this guy wasn't he selected in the 6th round or something like
He was
that?
the 7th round, literally the last pick of the draft.
He was literally Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, he is actually Mr. He's the
Wow,
first ever Mr. Irrelevant to throw a touchdown pass.
that's amazing. Yeah, I know that Mr. Irrelevant is deserves the name, but not this year. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
he's very relevant. He had a whole party for him during the preseason. Like they hooked him up, and now he's actually getting to play. And he's pretty decent, and I think he'll be able to handle the offense. It's just like I said, a matter of he just don't turn it over, and I think we'll be cool. With Nick Bosa, when the other team has Nick Bosa chasing him, like
Yeah.
I think our offense, like I said, as long as we kind of manage the game and make sure that there's no turnovers, no points off turnovers, I think we could still make a run. I don't think our season's quite over, and potentially Jimmy G could maybe come back. I was thinking about it. This kind of reminds me of when Peyton Manning got injured on the Broncos, and then he came back at the playoffs after Brock Osweiler filled in for him. I think we're gonna have another Brock Purdy, filling in for Jimmy G. Hopefully, he can get us far enough, and Jimmy comes back, and we could
And
still
then
make
we'll
a
see
run.
because honestly, if Brock is leading you guys to wins, why are you even gonna come? Why even go back to Jimmy G, who is coming off of an injury in big games towards the end of the year? It's kind of, I guess we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of interesting decisions coming up for the Niners. A squad we were Super Bowl hopeful. Now we're like maybe we could still do it, but there's still hope.
Hmm. Well, let's go on to our perennial great segment of saddest and happiest fan bases. Who do
Dun
you
dun
have as
dun.
saddest? Yeah, we need a little jingle for that. A little womp womp for the
Yeah.
saddest. Who's your saddest team? Is our fan base this week?
Saddest fan base for me, I gotta go with the Chicago Bears. I think like the mental struggles they have to go through to lose to Aaron Rodgers year after year after year. And I'm sure they thought they were gonna win going up 10-0. Justin Fields had a lot of rush yards, but they lost once again. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears as always. And looks like the Bears have pretty much they're just playing for a good draft pick at this point.
Yeah, so they're kind of in full tank mode, and they have a little bit of hope towards the future, but they let that game go. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
leading for a lot of the game. And similarly, my saddest fan base is the Denver Broncos, who were literally leading the entire game against the Baltimore Ravens because Lamar Jackson went out early and still managed to bungle it up and lose 10-9. And also, like, what is the future of this fan base, man? This is the exact opposite turn that like no Broncos fan expected, that they were going to get Russell Wilson and he was going to be garbage. And now you're looking into next year being like, we're saddled with this guy. Do we even look for a new quarterback? Do we
There's no
fire the
way.
head coach and get rid of everybody just to try and make the system work, or is Russell cooked? You know?
Yeah, I think when they owe someone over $200 million guaranteed, I think you got to get rid of the coach, even though it's his first year. I don't know. They are not looking. It's a shame because their defense is solid. I like their defense a lot, but they couldn't beat a team without Lamar Jackson. That's not good.
Just cut him, and then the Niners can take him for the rest of the season.
That would be crazy.
All right, and on the flip side, what about the happiest fan base for you?
For the happiest fan base, I am going with the Detroit Lions. Who the Detroit Lions are slowly kind of trying to make their way to a playoff push. I don't know if it's quite possible, but they're pretty hot right now, and they put up 40 points against the Jaguars. Now it's just the Jags, but I feel like this
They've
team,
done
this
that against other teams too, though.
yeah, and so it's like I think this team they have a lot of hope, not only for the future, but even a little bit for this year. And they haven't had hope. I can't remember. I do they even know what hope means? I don't even know, but it looks like they got some now. And
They,
so
they've always had great pieces on the offense. You know, it's really can Jared Goff cook? And will the defense actually just come together and play football? Because they also have some really nice defensive units too. And like uh, Taylor Hutchinson. I can't remember the rookie linebacker that's
Oh,
on the team.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, he might be like defensive rookie of the year maybe because
Yeah,
he's
he's
looking
crazy.
super hot.
He looks like another type of Nick Bosa style. That dude looks crazy.
So yeah, especially if they had just like if they were like the Texans and out of the playoff race at this point in the year, Lions fans would be like, "What is going on with our team?" But no, they still have some hope for the future, uh, and yeah. And for me, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because, of course, the news of the Niners sucks for the Niners, but does not suck for the Seahawks because they are going out and might actually be able to take this division now if your guys' offense is sputtering. And they had a really nice win over the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are leading 23-20 with only 2:56 left in the game, and so they got their nice comeback win. And uh, yeah,
Can't
and again, the whole season for the Seahawks has just been surprising to say the least for Seahawks fans. So.
can't count on the Rams to do anything right. We just literally needed them to win. They
Mhm.
can't even win right. So now we got the Seahawks right on the Niners' backs. And if we mess up one, now luckily we have the tiebreaker for now, but yeah, they do. They are kind of eyeing the Niners division spot right there. So they are unfortunately feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, the Rams kind of just sold out the last few seasons, and now we're seeing that because I mean,
I love
I
it.
still because I love Sean McVay. I think he's a great coach. I don't think it has anything to do with him. I think Matt Stafford is well, he's out, so there's that too. But the whole thing with Cam Akers drama throughout this season, I think, and then just getting rid of Darrell Henderson Jr. randomly, like I just think they're kind of in a spiral right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might put the Rams as the worst team, honestly. I mean, I'm probably very, very biased, but
I mean the Texans lost to the Browns, and I don't think the Browns had an offensive touchdown.
oh
So.
yeah, that is true. That is very bad.
And speaking of teams with no future, like what is going to go on there? I don't even think Brandon Cooks plays for him next year, and then they have nobody. I guess they have Damian Pierce. He's actually a nice little
They
rookie
got
running back.
Davis
But
Mills.
they got Davis Mills, man. Oh yeah, and of course the Rams now have Baker Mayfield now, which is
Oh, so
hilarious.
now they get even worse. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
or for the fan base that really sucks too because if they actually do win some games now they're ruining the tank. So. Yeah, a little bit of a spiral for the Rams, and we will just end it there.
And
We'll
I
just end
love
it
it.
with
That's
a
my favorite
spiral for the
ending.
Rams.
That's the favorite ending I've ever had of this show.
All right, be sure to check out the other videos this week, and we will see you next time.